Yo, thank you for tuning in to the Profit Desk. My name is Dexter.
And I'm Daniel.
And once again, we thank y'all for continuing to rock with us. So this is episode, what is this, 4 now?
Four, yeah.
Episode 4. And the title of this episode is You Don't Need Goals. All
Yeah.
right, we're going to get into that in just a minute. But you don't necessarily need goals, and we'll talk about it. But as per usual, we'll start with some current events. Daniel, do you have anything you want to say before we get started, bro?
Nah, man, just appreciate another day of life, another day to go get it and accomplish goals. If I needed them, if I didn't need them.
Yes,
Uh,
sir. Dylan,
yeah,
welcome to
man.
the
So,
stream, brother. All right.
Dylan, what's up?
What's going on, man? It's good to see you, brother. Always.
I need a pompadour like Dylan.
Dylan's the man. All right. Let's start here from the top. So, this week in business, we got a couple of interesting things that happened over the last couple of weeks.
Do tell.
Um,
Do tell.
well, let's start from the top. And we always like to kick it off with some business. And I think uh, what could be better than just some real estate, right? So let's take a look.
Let's get into it.
All right, so this is a good one. Douglas Elliman's top brokers, the Alexanders, the brothers,
Mm-hmm.
they recently purchased was it 264 plots of land, I think. Let me take a look. 259 plots of land in Decentraland for $900,000. 900,000 smackaroos. So in case you thought virtual real estate was some type of hoax or that it
Yeah.
wasn't real, even some of the top brokers are jumping into this game. Hey man, what do you think about that, brother?
Yeah, it's definitely real. To the tune of 900K. And it really looks like a lot of the big players are trying to get first dibs on what seems to be the future, right? Those who it,
Absolutely.
this is kind of like the our modern day gold rush. Those
Yeah.
who those who those who get in first are usually the richest. So they um, you want to be able to say, I was in, uh, and I believe the window they're looking at, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Dexter. I believe there's a window of 3 to 5 years, of the next 3 to 5 years, to really make your mark or purchase a significant piece of um,
Virtual real estate.
virtual real estate. Correct me if I'm wrong. There are four different metaverses, major
Th-
metaverses.
there are four there are four five if you want to count um Axie.
Okay,
But there are four majors. We're talking. I'm gonna go through them all, but Decentraland and Sandbox are the top two at the moment.
got it.
Yeah. Um, and yeah, no, Dylan actually said, "Want to buy some land and then charge to advertise on a small fees." Dylan, I think that's excellent. And Dylan says there are actually five, right? There are five top metaverses,
Okay.
so that's actually good. Dylan, list them if you can. If you got the names to them, that'd be good.
Yeah, drop them
Um,
in the chat.
but so but advertising on them, charging small fees. That's it, right? I think that's the major play. Um, and I think people are missing it. I think I've seen a few people mention that. Oh, I see NFTs in the metaverse, kind of like the .com bubble. It's going to be here and then it's going to be gone. Well, why are we focusing on it being gone? Right now, like you said, we've got 3 to 5 years to make a major play in this, and I would not be focused on um, the bubble, if you will, right?
Hmm.
Those things are going to happen. However, 4 years from now, you will see the writing on the wall if you need to get out, if you
Oh
need
yeah.
to escape, if you need to start moving your assets elsewhere. So I think it is wrong to say, I'm gonna keep my hands off NFTs or crypto or anything like that because there's too much interest in it. I think it's going to be a bubble. I personally think that is a mistake, and I think you'll miss the boat if you look at it that way. If you look at it as, oh, it's a bubble, so I'll leave it alone.
Yeah.
Uh, the main four you are thinking of plus Neo Tokyo. Okay. No, no worries. This is a family show, brother. Feed the kiddo.
Yeah. We're actually going to touch on some of that in a few minutes.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it. I think get in while you can. You don't and crypto crypto can give the illusion that it is super expensive to get into. And don't get me wrong, gas fees are high. Um, but you don't need. I think people look at crypto like a stock, and you don't need a crypto portfolio as large as a stock portfolio to make the same gains. You
Mm-hmm.
just need to be smart. All right, and let's take a look at what's next. If you have anything else on this subject, Dan, you want to touch on?
No, man, I'm good.
Okay, so with that being said, we also got another story for you. The number one search term for 2021 was, drum roll, please.
Mm,
How to start a business.
yeah.
Last year, 2020, the top search. Well, this is the first time that getting a job was beat actually. So
Yeah.
no searching for jobs, none of that. How to start a business. That shows to me anyway a major shift in the culture. What are your thoughts, man?
Yeah, most definitely. Really, it looks like the consumer, the employee, kind of have um, power at this time. It's kind of like a power shift. Um, it's kind of like when you look at how power is disseminated. It goes from top to bottom, right? And if
Yep,
you look at some diagrams, some companies, people look at some different business models as pyramid schemes. Man, our government and capitalism is a whole pyramid scheme. People at the top get all the money.
absolutely. Yeah, that's true.
So it's kind of like there's a shift in power. So that triangle or that diagram is being flipped upside down. So it's a situation where you can kind of you those who are employed have the power to change the terms of their employment, i.e., higher salaries, more remote locations, um,
Yeah.
different type of benefits and things of that nature. So yeah, that's what I got. What you got?
I think we've been waiting on this for a long time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, now, I don't think it is anywhere near. Um, I do not think we are going towards entrepreneurship being um, like where the roles reverse, where entrepreneurship becomes traditional and the
Sure.
9 to 5 isn't. I don't think we're
Sure.
anywhere near that, and I don't think that'll happen anytime
Right.
in my lifetime. Um, but it does put a lot of pressure on employers to do the right thing. I actually read an article that said that they were speaking to some of the top um, HR reps, and they were talking to them, and they said the culture is shifting from uh, "you need a job" to "we need employees,"
Sure. Most
and
definitely.
from employees saying, "I'm so grateful I have a job," to employers now saying, "At least we have employees."
Exactly.
So I think there's a huge shift coming. People have options now. They're you think people. Oh, most definitely. Oh, we're gonna definitely dive into discipline. Oh, definitely, Dylan. But yeah. So, but I think a lot of people say, hey, I have options. I can start my own business. I mean, if you think about it, right? The the average household income uh, in the United States is somewhere around $42,000.
Yep.
Um, the median household income nationwide, and if we're talking about Hawaii and all that other stuff, median household income nationwide is only 78K. That's
Mm,
$6,500 a month. That's not a huge. That's not crazy money, right?
right.
So when you think about that, you think, hey, I can I can start my own business. I could realistically start my own business, and no, I may not become a millionaire, but I can replace my income and be just fine.
Hmm.
Um, and I think people are starting to realize that it does take some work, does take some ingenuity, does take some
Right.
determination.
Right.
But that's what this show is all about, right? The how you can put yourself in a position to where you're not a prisoner of your 9 to 5.
Hmm.
You have the ability to go out and create finance for yourself, to create freedom for yourself, or to create wealth for yourself
Hmm.
if you so choose to. And we just want to create a platform where we can all get together and discuss various ways to do that. Then it says, I feel like a bunch of them look it up and go, well, that's too hard. Dylan, I would say this: they have no idea. They have no idea, brother. Um, but it is possible. It is far from impossible. But I am happy to see that employers are noticing the shift
Hmm.
because they could have said, hey, um, well, and now granted, and I did read in the article that some employers are doing this. They could have easily said, hey, well, what we'll do is we'll just start downsizing, and that way, we cut a little bit of the overhead, keep some employees, kind of balance it out. But what the majority of employers are starting to do is continuing education within the workforce.
Yeah.
So offering coding courses if they're hiring for IT
Yeah.
or things of that nature to grow their workforce. Now the problem is it's going to come at a discount. It is going to come at a discount. If you are a senior network executive, or you want to be, you can go out right now and just hop on Indeed and make 120K if you want to be a senior network executive, paying anywhere from 80 to 120K,
Yeah.
right? However, if you're working at a job, right, and they're paying you 46,000, and they train you within their program to become a senior network executive, you will not get the same offer that you
Oh
would if you go
no.
outside.
Oh no.
Right. So it's going to come at a discount, and you 100% need to know that it's going to
Yeah.
come at a discount 100%. Um, for the greatest country in the world, we really got some stuff backwards. Yeah, yeah, I would agree with you, Dylan. Dan, any thoughts on that?
Yeah. I was just thinking about the company. Um, did you read that article? The CEO got everybody on a Zoom call,
Oh,
900 employees, and
900
said,
employees.
if you're on this call, you are fired, effective immediately.
That actually happened to me before.
What a
That actually happened to me
call.
before. Yeah, yeah. Zoom wasn't around back then, but that happened to me before.
Hmm.
But that is crazy, man. That is
Just
crazy.
yeah, think about, and then I think he came back maybe 48 hours later and apologized for doing it over Zooms. He was kind of crass,
Yeah,
and but he still believes in the country, not the country, but the company, and how it's going to move forward. And he believes in everybody. Of course, you say that. That's PR, sir. You really don't care.
yeah,
Um, and the people who were fired, fortunately, there are other jobs out there for them to go to, right?
yeah,
But the fact that in this time, and I'm going to switch to uh, emotional intelligence real quick.
hmm
Um, in this time, we just came out of 2020, 2021. We're still reeling from that. The
Absolutely.
mental stress, the emotional stress from going through a whole year of not knowing, a real dark cloud of uncertainty over the whole country, over the whole world, practically, of whether we're going to make it the next day or not. And then here, 12 months later, I get on a call expecting 2 weeks from Christmas. I'm expecting, someone, I'm getting on the call, got coffee in my hand, it's in the morning, I'm going through my notes for the day, I'm already thinking about, deliverables for the day, right?
Yeah.
I get on the call and I realize that I'm receiving a pink slip via Zoom. What type of mental stress does that cause 900 people with families?
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
As interesting.
Yeah.
And this is why we have this show, because sooner or later everybody has or will come into a situation like that. And you have to have a backup plan. And it's not
100%.
college.
Yeah. I mean, at
Uh-huh.
one time it was.
Uh,
At one time it
whoa.
was. Yeah. All right. Story time. So,
Okay.
I was working for a fairly large company. I won't say their name on our stream,
Sure.
but they're a fairly large company, and there's. I'll let you guys imagine. There's red in this company's logo. All right. So that's like a million companies. But you walk into this store all the time. All right. And I used to work for their call center, and they were doing a huge layoff, right? But it was just random downsizing, and they needed a way to choose an unbiased way to choose employees to lay off. So we all gathered. No, Dylan, you missed that one, brother. You're good thinking on the on the store name, but no, it's Red Bucket. Think of Red Bucket. Anyway, so they were doing a layoff, and they had some. They called us all out into kind of like a foyer area. It was outside. It's like a big like a courtyard. They called us out into this courtyard. All the employees
Wow.
lined up. So we all lined up out there, and they
Firing
had
squad.
tables. Yeah, basically, and they had these tables, and they had blue cards here and green cards here. So everybody come up, pick a card, doesn't matter what color. Everybody grabbed a card, and they said, if you have a green card, you can go home.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember that day like it was yesterday. I remember looking down, taking off my sunglasses, trying to double check the color on my card. Um, yeah, and
Yes.
I went home that day
Okay.
with my tail tucked between my legs.
Okay. Okay.
So, yeah, and so I was not surprised by this Zoom call at all. People were shocked, saying that it was insensitive. That's a crazy raffle, right? What a prize! So I was not
Yeah.
shocked about this whole Zoom call fiasco at all. The only thing shocking was that he allowed it to be recorded.
Oh my.
That was the only thing that was
Wow.
shocking. That was the only thing that was shocking. Imagine if you had just painted it. Yeah, man. So yeah, so like I said, I wasn't shocked at all, but I think there's a lesson in that. And Dan, you spoke on it briefly. You have to um, put yourself in a position to where you don't having a job is great, and it is, and the security of a job can be great for your family, but you need to put yourself in a position where you don't need them. Um, and the shift is coming where employees are realizing they actually need us more than we need them. And as
Yeah.
long as we have a hive mind, right? As long as we all are on the same page about the power that we hold as employees. We start forming more unions. We start banding together. The more that we do that, the more the power will be in the hands of the employee um, and the entrepreneur. Anything else on that day?
Nope.
All right. All right. So let's take a look at this. I'm going to jump now to everyday life. And I thought this article was interesting. Let me grab it here. All right. So, oh, actually, before we jump, I do want to talk about this inflation. We got to touch on that before we leave the business section. We
Yeah.
always do. So last month they actually reported on it um, yesterday that as of November we have hit a 39. And actually, I'll just share it so you can see it. Here, there we go. 39-year high in November. Is that not crazy, man? Is that not insane, brother?
Well, it's kind of expected, right? Because the government's been printing paper like crazy over the last year. They, I think they've printed more paper in the last couple of years than they have over. It's been a lot over the last. I have to look at the numbers again, but they've printed most of the paper that's been printed in the U.S. in the history of the U.S. in the last couple of years.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. I mean, it's been ridiculous. A lot of it started with this whole stimulus check thing.
Yeah,
Um, and granted, I would agree 100%. Not only did we need the first round, but it wasn't enough.
right,
It wasn't enough. And I think the not having the proper not have a proper plan in place allowed us to snowball into stimulus check after stimulus check after grant program and SBA loan this, SBA loan that, and now we
PPP
put
loan.
out PPP loan. Oh my God, and all the scams and things associated with that, and it just kind of snowballed us into where we are now, man. Even further behind the eight ball than we were before. Now, granted, this is not all on Biden,
Right.
on President Biden. Our debt ceiling rose under Trump as well,
Yep.
um, but not to the astronomical limits that they are now. We're approaching 1980 territory. I think 1980 inflation was at 15%. What is being reported at the moment is 7%. And I think Daniel and I were talking earlier that we would even dare to say it's probably higher than that.
It's probably higher than that.
Yeah, we're probably closer to 10, 12% on inflation. Um, the article came out the other day here in Orlando that apartment prices are up 36%
Yeah.
for rental units.
Year over year.
That is insane, man.
Yep.
36%. And when you talk about um, not getting an increase in income, but your expenses just went through the roof.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know. There has to be relief coming from somewhere. If not, we're going to be in big trouble. um, but they don't. A lot of people don't seem to think that this is it. That there's a bubble coming, that there's a crash coming. A lot of people don't seem to think that. What are your thoughts, man? I'd be interested to hear what you think on it.
Uh, it's very interesting. It's a situation where if you have the ability to really start um, looking for ways to supplement the income that you're currently making or currently not
Yeah,
making.
Yeah.
A lot of people are looking into investing in stock market. A lot of people are looking into investing in real estate. The main thing is invest, right? If you don't know how to, learn how to, because um, is
Daniel, I lost you for a second, brother. All right. I think Daniel's camera dropped for a second. So, but what he was saying is mainly just invest, man. You got to have a way to uh, supplement that income. You got to have a way to hedge yourself against the current inflation that we have. A way to position yourself and protect yourself in situations like this. I don't care what it is. Find something that works for you. Um, there was one summer I was thinking I was broke, dead broke, and my friend Brian, if he's ever on, he can tell you the story. But we were dead broke. We were trying to find a way to make $20 stretch for a week. We were that kind of broke, right? And I remember watching this story by Grant Cardone, and he said if you ever broke, the only thing you need to make money is they say if you ever broke, if you can scrape together $20, you can make some money. And I thought to myself, $20. What are you gonna do with $20? Because I got $20. That's all I got for the week. I got $20.
mm-hmm.
So he said, go buy a $15 drill and buy a $5 pack of um, peepholes, the actual glass that goes in the peephole, and steal your dad's hammer. And that was my introduction to Uncle G, Grant Cardone, and we did that, drilling hole, offering to install peepholes in
Mm-hmm.
people's front doors just to scrape up money. So I mean, do whatever you have to do, um, but this inflation isn't going anywhere anytime soon. It's going to take some ingenuity. It's going to take some creativity. It's going to take some determination, but you can set yourself free. Uh, I'm glad you found humor in that. So, Daniel practicing his best. So he playing Chris Brown freeze.
Yeah, sorry about that, man. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Am I back? Can you all hear me? Can you
Yeah,
see
we
me?
got you, bro. We
Okay.
got you. You good? Any other comments on that, brother? You want to
No,
touch on?
man. Let's move on. I don't want to freeze again.
Okay, all right. The next subject here, before we get on to the main topic of this evening, um, and Daniel, this is one that you can touch on better than I can, so I'm gonna grab it here for you. Uh, all right, so it would appear schools are seeing a wave of student misbehavior driven by months of remote learning and education. Um, not only did they say schools are receiving a wave of misbehavior, but it's gotten to the point to where that misbehavior is, and I have to read it on Apple, but that misbehavior is kids bringing guns to school
Mm-hmm.
and fights. Now we don't see a lot of the reporting on guns, mainly because it only gets reported if an incident actually happens. But according to this article, they've interviewed several district leaders, and there's been an uptick of kids bringing firearms to school, as well as fights breaking out. What do you think about that, man?
Uh, I can actually understand that. Uh, yeah, yeah, sure, Dylan. So actually, I can understand that. We've actually been kind of a recipient of the misbehavior or you know un uncharacterized behavior from our own high school.
Yeah.
uh, person. She, over the last year, and then you again going back to emotional intelligence, you have to think about how this whole pandemic has affected not only adults but children as well. Sometimes children are looked over, right?
Yeah.
Because they're children. They don't necessarily have full capacity to think, to communicate, to really tell people what's going on with them, so they act out. And a lot of them, I believe, after being locked up for a whole year, you know, after being in that environment in the house and not having any type of structure, and then being put back into that structure just automatically, all of a sudden, they don't know how to or don't want to um, acclimate to a school setting again. They want they like their freedom, right?
Yeah.
My own daughter, we've had some challenges with her as far as grades are concerned. Um, but the thing about it is, we're not the only ones going through it, right?
Right.
There are thousands of families out there going through the same thing. And what we've done is we've decided, and my wife and I were talking about this the other day. We've decided, hey man, we're going to stay consistent in what we know what to do. Um, there's going to be some prayer there, and we're a lot of consistency on being very intentional on getting her through this time, because it's and I think we were talking earlier. The schools didn't plan for this, didn't know this was going to happen, so didn't
Right.
have a plan in place to implement. But as they're implementing and making changes, I think I see at the bottom of that the title, it says districts respond with more counseling, increased patrols, and fewer suspensions. So
Yeah.
their methodology is changing. You have to
Absolutely.
find the methodology that works, and then you have to be consistent with that, because the kids, even though they're lashing out, they're responding in a negative manner. If you stay the course, that ship will get back on course.
Right.
Um, which is what I believe. But you have to. They nobody took into account people's mental um, stability through this whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I agree with you. I think the school board is actually going the correct route.
Yeah.
We have to find a way to curb gun violence in this country, without also, um, you know, changing, um, changing what our founding fathers intended for, right? And a huge part of that, and I'm all for gun safety. I am a 2A advocate, but um, I am also a believer in, the safety of the people overall.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to have to start, especially in schools. It's going to have to start. We have to start looking at the mental health of our younger people. Um, when I was coming up, and I'm not an old geezer, but I'm a few generations removed from high school. But when I was coming up, we had our issues. Trust me, we had our issues.
Mm-hmm.
But and we had access to firearms. It wasn't that we didn't. We had more access. There have been more gun laws implemented since I've graduated high school
Yeah.
than there was when I was there. And there's more access to firearms now than ever. Um, but I think the issue is that, we have a mental health crisis going on in this country, and it's starting with our kids, and we
Mm-hmm.
have to find a way to fix it.
Yeah.
We have to, the school shootings, the bullying, all those things that were still a thing when we were in high school, but now have been amplified times 10. And we are not looking into what the real what the real issues are. We touched on it in episode one. We talked about the introduction of the metaverse, and one of the things that we touched on was the social insensitivity that comes with being in a virtual realm, or being keeping your head in video games and not interacting with people on a daily basis. And we're seeing that now with kids that are coming off Zoom, going back into classrooms, and the acting out, the inability to focus, the violent outlashing that's taking place when they meet confrontation because they haven't had to work that muscle over the last 2 years. So it is a lot, and I think we've got a lot of work to do, um, to repair a lot of the damage that's been done, when it comes to um, the mental health in this country. I think we've got a whole lot of work to do. All right, so Daniel dropped for a second, but I'm going to continue and talk about a story. Let's see here. Um, Dylan says, same people sometimes had it on them in high school, low key, but we were throwing hands before. Absolutely, we were always, yeah. That was the way. I am a witness to that. I saw people in high school with guns all the time. Never had a school shooting. We just grew up in a culture where a quick fisticuffs, or a quick fist fight, and we can take care of it. FBI, yeah, probably. They'll be coming for me next, man. Let me actually see. All right, we got another one here. This is an interesting story as well. So, a couple had some IRA gold. They um, they took the gold that they had, and they were matching with the IRA, and they stuck it in a safe in their home. Now they owe the IRS more than $300,000. Thought that was crazy interesting. They owe them 270,000 in back taxes, and another 50 plus thousand in fines for keeping their investment in a personal safe. Um, Apparently, that is not the thing to do. So, just in case you're out there, I know we're all looking at other assets to be um, other assets to hold on to, things that we can leverage not only against the inflation, but against the failing dollar that we have for the U.S. We're looking at some ways to hedge ourselves against that, and it's I think it is. I thought the story was relevant because you don't want to be in a position like this where essentially they're good. If the fines continue to stack, man, that hedge that they were planning on is gone. The IRS is kind of taxing them and fining them out of what they used it for. Delete, 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 delete. um, but yeah, so until Daniel get back, we are actually going to jump into our topic for this evening. All right, and hopefully he'll be on shortly, but I will bring it up anyway. You don't need goals. That is our topic for this evening. And I know some people might have a different opinion on that, but I'm going to stand by it. You do not, I repeat, you do not need goals. All right. Now, what do I mean by that? Um, if you are happy, if you are truly happy with your life, I'm actually going to talk to you guys. If you are truly happy with your life, if everything is in place, if um, if what you desire is in place, then you don't have to put yourself um, through what you're going through in order to be successful. I was talking to Daniel earlier, and I said to myself, I could quit right now. I truly could quit right now. I could um, I could stop what I'm doing, go buy me a house in the country, put a couple horses on my land, um, marry a beautiful woman, and I'd be good. I'd have a simple and wonderful life. Um, it'd be perfect. But in about 10 to 15 years, I'd probably blow my brains out. All right. But that is because of what is in me. That is because of what's inside of me. If you don't wake up every morning feeling like you're against the shot clock, like time is winding down, if you don't see problems and automatically think about uh, how to solve them, or how you can implement that change, if you don't um, if you don't, if you don't need the the things haunting you that keep you up at night because um, you feel like you're sleeping away your time. If you don't need all that, then you don't need goals. You literally can have a simple life just the way it is. Um, and there's nothing wrong with that, man. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But you know, if you if you are in the pursuit of something greater, um, I talk about some of my goals here all the time. A goal to have 2,000 units, um, uh, 50 million dollars in net worth, several other things. Those are goals of mine that drive me every day. Goals with big purpose behind them, purpose that I can physically see in my family. Those things haunt me in my dreams. Those things keep me up at night. Those things that when I should be in the bed by 12 keep me up until 2 and back up at 5 a.m. Those things dig into my mind and they take root. And if you do not want that life, if that is not a part of you, then this may not be then this entrepreneurship path may not just be for you. It just may not be for you. And that's completely fine. You can still have a good life. You can still have a side hustle and a business on the side, or whatever that may be. Set some small milestones to keep you in line and then track along the way. But you don't need big lofty goals. Um, and that's what this live stream tonight is about. Um, Social media has people confused, really, really confused, and I think the Google searches tell the story. That everybody thinks that the only way to happiness is entrepreneurship, and that is a falsehood. You don't need these problems. You don't need that
Yeah.
life. Um, Welcome back, Daniel. What do you think, brother?
Yeah, I'm glad to be back. Sorry about that. Uh, hey, man, let up off me, Dylan. Get up off me. uh, yeah, I would have to agree. If you're and if you endeavor to do something, I think we were talking about this earlier. Man, make it really really big, right?
Yeah,
Make it really really big. Make yourself really uncomfortable. Um, like you just spoke of 2,000 doors, 50
yeah,
mil, $50 million uh, uh, that you want to accumulate over the next however many years. That's a lofty goal, right? For someone who is currently employed by a company.
yeah,
For you to have that type of mindset and say, okay, one day I'm going to, like, that old adage that says, uh, shoot for the moon and land among the stars,
yeah.
and it's actually, shoot for the stars
Land on the moon.
and
Yeah,
you land on the moon, right? So you really you want that big lofty goal. Get outside of your comfort zone. Um, Make it worth. Yeah, yeah, that's doable. 2,000
for sure,
doors is
for
doable.
sure, for sure.
Um, you want set those goals for the future. And if you are really serious about doing it, there are several versions on the internet that you can just Google. Just Google goal setting, and you'll find
Yeah.
something on how to, for uh, the next big goal. Your big goal is $50 million. Okay, so now you have to reverse engineer that. What do I have to do over the next 10 years, 5 years, 3 years, 1 year? And then you break
Yeah.
that year down into a quarter. Now, over the next quarter, what do I have to do?
Yeah.
Okay, in each quarter, there's a month. Each month, what do I have to do? In each month, there's a week. So in each week, what do I have to do? And in each week, there are
7
days.
days. 7 days, yes, sir.
So each day, what do I have to do in order that, what do I have to do now? So in order in 10 years, I can reach that lofty goal, right? You have to reverse
Yeah.
engineer it in order for that to happen. Yeah, set aside some time. And if you're going to do it, I suggest you set aside some time in the next couple of weeks, since we're at the end of the month, we're at the end of the year, and most people slow
Hmm.
down anyway. I don't believe in that. I think
Hit the gas.
you should, because everybody else is slowing down. They make way for you, right, to be able to go accomplish your goals a little bit faster. So set aside some time in the next couple of weeks to think about what you want the next year and what that actually looks like. And I'll run through, 5 or 6 steps that you can actually do to set these goals, right? So number one, reflect where you are currently in every area of your life. So I'll give you an example. For me, I have 5 areas that I focus on: family, finance, fitness, friends, and faith. I go through each one and I reflect on, okay, how far have I progressed? And I have an honest assessment. And then because I have a wife, and if you have a girlfriend or a significant other, they don't pull any punches. If you ask them, hey, how am I doing? They're going to tell you, bro. They're going to tell you. So, you know, try not to take it offensively, but take it as constructive criticism, because if you're honest, they'll be able to feel that vibe. Say, no, I'm coming to you. I may not have communicated you to this in this way before, but I'm looking for some honest feedback. In this area, how am I doing? In this area, how am I doing? Then go through that.
Yeah.
I go through all of them. How far have I progressed? Honest self-assessment. And we talked about small wins earlier, right? Dexter and I, we have a business together. Started earlier this year. We've been
Yeah.
friends for about 2 years. We met at a conference in 2019. We
Yep.
decided to go into business together 2021. The beginning of this year was kind of rough. We're seeing the light of day fourth quarter, right?
Fourth quarter.
Fourth quarter, we
Yeah.
we got about 3 or 4 deals that we're working on, getting ready to
Yeah.
close.
All in
Listen,
escrow. All in escrow at the same time.
all at the
Now,
same time.
we've had deals that have we both done deals in this business, but this is this is the turn up for us. Four
Right.
in escrow at the same time. As a matter of fact, he talked about it. And I'm sorry to interrupt you, Daniel. He talked about it. Us starting this business in 2021. We started this business when we met Dylan. As a matter of fact,
Right.
we met Dylan in the same challenge that
Sure did.
brought us
We
to end up
sure
starting
did.
our business
We
together.
sure did. We
Um,
sure did.
so yeah, shout out to the man DC. Shout out to Tyler Austin as well for the challenge, and shout out to all the REI Sif ninjas.
Yeah, most definitely. So you got to celebrate those wins. So for us, having four deals in escrow right now, that's a
Yeah,
win. And then we
that's
have
one. Yeah,
and then we have some more uh in the pipeline, coming down the pipeline. So first quarter for us is really, really looking really good. Really looking really
oh,
good. So year over year, that's a win. And then the progression that we had to go through to get to the point to get to 4 in escrow. right? We had some wins and we had some losses along the way, right? We we had some deals blow up on us, right? We had some
Yeah.
deals, bro. It was crazy. We had to figure out what type of marketing we wanted to do. We had to figure out what type of person or type of avatar we wanted to market to, and then we had to figure out the whole process on how to make it from A to Z, right? And we're almost there. So, you have to look at how far you've progressed, individually and collectively, and celebrate those wins. Also, look at how you can get better in those areas that you need growth in, right? Number three, decide who you want to be and what you want to achieve, right? You have to look at those things. Okay, so I didn't do what I wanted to do in 2021 or 2020. Okay, write down those goals. Everything you want to do and everything you want and who you want to be, write those down. Imagine it, right? Think big. We talk about lofty. Filter that down into 3 to 5 goals that align with what you want and who you want to be and what you want to achieve. Number 5, make a plan defining processes and benchmarks or milestones, right? You have to make a plan, which means you kind of have to think about it. If you don't know how to make a plan, um, get with somebody, find someone. If you ask, it shall be given. If you seek, you'll find it, right? And last but not least, 6, find a group or tribe of people, maybe 3 to 5 like minded people that can hold you accountable, right? That may sound like a lot and it may sound
Mm.
hard, but think about the regret you'll have 5 to 10 years from now because you didn't take that specific action, right? So set goals for the future. So a brief overview, reflect on where you are currently in every area of your life, right? How far have you progressed? Have an honest self assessment. Decide who you want to be and what you want to achieve. Filter that down into 3 to 5 goals and align with who you want and what you want to achieve. Make a plan with processes and benchmarks so you can celebrate those small wins along the way. And then find a group of people, 3 to 5 maybe, of like minded people that can hold you accountable. Because there are going to be some days and there are going to be some times, and Dexter can attest to this. There will be some days like, hey, man, I don't even feel like doing this, bro. Like, for real.
Oh yeah.
Like, are we going the right direction? Like, this don't look like it's working at all,
Yeah.
right? And then there's a level of trust that has to happen, that develops through the problems, right? Through
Yeah.
those problems, through those failures, because you learn the other person and then you start learning yourself. And then and then today we're reading a book called High Performance Habits. And today we
Yeah.
talked about courage. And there's an area in there, there's a section in there where he says the more you do something, the more you lean into that fear, the less of fear it is, the more you do that thing. Courage increases, fear decreases, and your
Right.
competency increases with the courage. So do it. The more you do it, the more courage you have, the less fear you have. And then you are
100%.
around, and that is contagious,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
you're around like minded people who have the same mindset, holding each other accountable, going through the fears together, learning the lessons together, becoming competent together, growing their courage together. I'm
Yeah.
down. You're pulling me up. You're down. I'm pulling you up. We're going to get through this together. We got to see it through the end because we got some real lofty goals and nobody is coming to save us.
No, bro. Now that's the real part right there. Nobody is coming. No one is coming. Listen to me clearly. No one is coming to save you.
No one is coming to
Um,
save you. One more
no one
thing,
is coming
man.
to save you. Yeah,
I
go
wanted
ahead.
to ask you a question. So with your big lofty goals, and I know them, right?
Hmm.
What's more important, the goal or the process?
The goal or the process? Um, so there's a two-part answer, right? I am a firm believer that there is no point in making a goal that doesn't drive you.
Yeah.
I need that goal to be big enough that it scares me in my core that I may never be able
Yeah.
to achieve it.
Yeah.
So I think that is important. But when you break those goals down from, like you said, 10 years, 5 years, 3 years, 1 year, uh, 6 months, 3 months, day to day,
Yeah.
what will get you through is the process.
Yes, sir.
What will, I think Will Smith said it best. His father told him, "You don't build a wall, you place each brick perfectly.
Yeah.
That is your one job, to lay each brick perfectly. Um, and before too long, you'll have a wall.
Yeah. Bit by
Um,
big, brick by brick.
brick by brick. So set goals lofty enough that um, make you pick up bricks,
Yeah.
and make sure that you focus on laying each brick piece by piece. It's all processes, man. I don't know if one is more important to the other. I think it depends on how you're looking at it. If you're looking at it over the long term, if we're looking at legacy, then I would say the goal. Um, if we are looking at how to achieve said goal, then definitely the process is going to be
Mm-hmm.
important. The
Mm-hmm.
process, the systems, and when I say the systems, I mean the uh, the implementation for meeting milestones, goals, and things like that. When I say support, I mean the people in your circle. We had a show last week about should your uh, family support your dreams last week, and we'll make sure that we include that in the link for you guys to check it out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but should your family support your dreams? Well, the reality is that that is not the kind of support that you're going to need on this journey,
Right.
right? Um, if you're selling a product, whether they buy it or not, that's not going to be the support you need.
Yeah.
The emotional toll that having real goals takes on you is huge. And when Daniel said you need 3 to 5 people around you, like-minded individuals, to help you, hold you accountable, those people also help keep you afloat.
Yeah.
I can Daniel and I do a call every morning. We do a book reading every morning, and like you said, right now, we're currently reading a book. We do a book every morning, and that book reading oftentimes turns into uh, kind of a pseudo therapy session,
Yeah.
um, because we go through things, and these books, the books that we read, they bring it out of you, and you need somebody to lean on. And
Yeah.
over the last 2 years, we've kind of built a trust. There's a bit of an emotional tug of war that allows us to lean on each other, and you need that in friendships. You need that 100%. Brian is another friend of mine where we can call each other, and we can talk through it, and if we need to go grab a drink, we can go do that. Like, what you need people in your life that you can lean on, and that's the support you need. All the financial stuff, all the, hey, watch my YouTube, buy my mixtape, all the other stuff, you won't even think about it 3 to 5 years from now. But you really do need people in your corner, people that think are like-minded, and people that are in pursuit of something greater. You need to surround yourself with those people. So yeah, um, the the process. Brian says that's me. The process is very important. Find your process, write your goals down, get as detailed as possible. And if you do that and you get the right people around you, sky's the limit, man. You can do anything.
Yeah. There's a quote that by Jim Rohn, the late great Jim Rohn. He says that his mentor, uh, he said, look to become a millionaire, not for the money,
Yeah,
but what it will make of you to become that person,
absolutely,
right?
absolutely. Yeah, because
Yeah, man.
if you make $1 million, it's best you become a millionaire quick,
Quickly,
quickly.
quickly. So,
Yeah.
you say that from a standpoint of making $1 million or coming into a windfall
Mm-hmm.
of $1 million. So making a
Yeah.
$1 million is you have a different mindset as opposed to coming into that windfall.
Yes, because making $1 million makes you a millionaire.
Correct.
On the inside, mentally it makes you a
Correct.
millionaire, making
Correct.
what it takes to become a millionaire. Yeah. And having a windfall is giving $1 million to a poor person. That's kind of not necessarily quote unquote poor financially, but you know what I mean.
Mentally.
Mindset wise, yeah.
Yep.
So there's a huge difference in that.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I love the
Um,
conversation, man.
yeah. This was definitely a good one. I actually think we're over our time for the night.
We
This
are
was
over
actually a
time.
pretty good one. Any final thoughts on this, man, before we wrap it up?
No, I've said all I had to say, man. It's I think it's important that we sit down, really take time out over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
People are winding down. Um, the adage that says if you're going to chop down a tree, take 4 hours to sharpen, take 3 hours to
Yeah.
sharpen the axe, and
Mm-hmm.
1 hour to chop down the tree. If you plan for the fear, it won't be a fear anymore,
Absolutely.
right? Plan for
Yeah.
the fear, which is crazy.
Plan for the fear. Yeah.
Planning for the fear, and that comes from the reading we had this morning,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
If you plan for your fear, you're on your road to mastery and whatever that is that you're planning for.
Yeah.
Amazing, mind
Amazing.
blown. Yeah, that's all I got, man.
Dylan, we appreciate you, brother. I don't have anything. Like I said, this was a great conversation. Thank you guys always 100% for coming through. Shout out to my boy Dylan. Dylan, we got to get you on the next one.
Yeah,
Got to
man, you
get
got
you
to
to
come
actually
on.
come through and step up with us on the next one. From the bottom of my heart, we saw the viewers that tuned in. We're getting more and more viewers each episode. From the bottom of my heart, and I know Daniel feels the same way. We
Bottom of my heart,
appreciate
man.
you. We appreciate you 100%. Thank y'all for continuing to rock with us. This has been a great episode of the Prophet Desk, and we'll see y'all next week.
Peace.
Peace.